And happy Thursday to everyone. This is Steve with On the Ring Apron, and we've got
Alyssa
and Kia.
And we have little names at the bottom of our thing now, so now you can know who we are, even if we don't introduce ourselves. But hopefully everyone's... Well, that's true. We are in the South, Southern hospitality.
If you pop in 30 minutes into the thing, that's on you.
Oh, that's true.
You knew what time we were coming.
Right.
Who am I pointing at?
Pull up.
Pull up. But either way, we're going to keep this relatively brief because the ladies have worked and they're ready to go out to eat. As you can see, we always do food. But we're here to discuss NXT Deadline, which is the final NXT Premium Live event of the year. Of course, this is the one that contains the Iron Survivor Challenges. This will be the third year that they've run that, with the winners getting an opportunity at both the NXT and NXT Women's Championships at New Year's Evil. So definitely some fun opportunities there. And I'm glad that they're adding it to New Year's Evil now and not moving the main event or the Iron Survivor winners all the way to Vengeance Day. Don't make us wait till February for that. That's a long time to sit and wait with a number one contender. It almost kills the storylines. You see the scoreboard directly above my head. There wasn't much change up because almost everyone voted the same on the live event last weekend. So unfortunately, Survivor Series War Games didn't change much. I do retain a 1-point lead over the OTRAs. Alyssa is within 4. Kia is within 7. So a little bit of work to do, but basically from a point-wise system, we're at about the halfway point in terms of the number of points that you can earn because we've got, of course, Royal Rumble, which is a 10-point one. You get opportunity for bonus points during Elimination Chamber. So there are opportunities to be able to make up some ground as we go along. But we're going to go ahead and hop into it unless the ladies have something they'd like to add.
Let's go.
Let's go, they said. I like it. Right to the point.
Let's go. Cool.
They're eyeballing food, so they're ready to rock and roll. Let's get the little timer up here and move this up and kill the scoreboard. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into the first of what are ultimately 5 matches on the card for Deadline. We have 2 championship matches, a match in the Underground, and 2 Iron Survivor matches. We'll begin with the first of the 2 title matches, which is for the NXT Tag Team titles, as the current incumbent champions, Nathan Frazer and Axiom, are going to defend the championships against the No Quarter Catch crew. That's tough to say 5 times fast. Tavion Heights and Myles Borne getting the championship match after winning a 6-pack challenge on NXT yesterday. Now, this will be an interesting matchup because of where this match is going to fall on the card. Because Nathan Frazer is also in the men's Iron Survivor match as well, so he'll be pulling double duty that evening. So it gets a little tricky if ultimately the Iron Survivor match ends up being first or worse directly before this match. He might be completely out of gas by the time you get there, and Axiom might have to take this on his own. So the No Quarter Catch crew might just catch the tag team champs at the best time possible. And you saw, anybody that watched NXT did see that it looked like Frazer was more interested in winning Iron Survivor than he was necessarily about defending the tag titles.
That man was over there running his mouth, talking about something, my. I was like, oh. And all you saw was Axiom hit the...
Well, what did he say? Right?
How did you see his facial expression? Or are you just...
You didn't have to. You just saw his
head turn.
The head bopped at the same time as that conversation. He talking about something.
Right? You don't...
I ain't seen some move that fast other than their interest. Don't play with him.
I did see that.
He whipped that head. I said, oh. He ain't finna play with you.
Like Alyssa, the, flip, or... Toss.
But no. Like, you can definitely see that even though, our current tag team champs went through that little phase where they lost them for a little bit because they were both over there trying to do their individual thing, it doesn't look like Nathan learned his lesson.
It doesn't.
Because he's over here doing the same thing. And if I was to ask him, I'd be over here like, you know what? You want it so bad? You can have it.
There you go.
Go ahead, Bookie. Go do your thing.
Because I think
that's me. I'm petty, though.
I was going to say, I do think that is the one concern because it does seem like throughout their entire tag team run, there have always been eyeballing singles glory as well as tag team glory as well. But each time with the lone slip against Chase U a couple of months ago, they, for the most part, don't hurt my feelings. I just got my heart back for that.
I'm just playing.
More on that later on in the show. But at the end of the day, if we are looking at it, with the exception of the one slip against Chase U, they say they're going to show up and they'll be ready, and ultimately they are.
Really? We watching this man for the second time bump his gums about something that's not tag team titles.
Hashtag bump his gums.
I mean, he earned the opportunity in there, so he has the right to talk.
Yeah, but not at the time that you needed to talk. You talked too much too soon right there standing next to your partner. If he was not there, then you could speak on, you could speak on it. But he's standing right there with y'all's titles hanging in his hand.
And he got the competitors behind them just sitting there watching like...
Right. It's time. It's about time.
Looking like Jaida Parker over there.
That's crazy.
But what you don't do is you need to, if you're with your tag team partner, y'all need to be focused on those titles because y'all want them together and y'all need to try to retain them together. We don't need to see another New Day.
I was going to say, our hearts are already broken enough after that little run. So
I really don't think so. I wasn't pushing for them like when they first started, so to see the breakup really didn't hurt my feelings. I'm not over here crying myself to sleep at night.
Now on the flip side of the coin, you've got No Quarter Catch Crew, who of course already is holding not only the Heritage Cup, but also will have Wren Sinclair getting an opportunity to go for Women's Iron Survivor later on, a little preview of the future. But remember, Tavion and Myles both have been doing their own thing, with Tavion being gone for over a month, wrestling a major tournament out in Japan and doing pretty well at the same time. So he has definitely earned his case, but this is the two members of the No Quarter Catch Crew that really have to earn their keep, and now they're getting their big opportunity on the big stage with possibly a major time advantage in their back pocket.
I feel like if they work together and they do what they're supposed to do, I think they'll be fine. Honestly, they seem like they're always there for each other, minus the, absences of going, to different other promotions and going everywhere else. I feel like they'll be fine. Now, if that match happens, the match that we're talking about happens before this, then they're going to be great because they're going to be fresh while Axiom is tired and worn down like his body going to be if he keep playing.
I mean, and he's fast as lightning, but, he can only do so much. But let's go ahead and move into our picks here. Let's find out who's going to meet their deadline. I've had that in the chamber for a week now. I start things off because I've got the lead. I've got to go with No Quarter Catch Crew. I think that ultimately he is, the loss of Frazer's, his inability to be able to stay focused on this particular one is where I think that he's going to ultimately be the downfall of his team. And you can only get away with that for so long before eventually it is going to catch up with you. And we don't know, even if Iron Survivor does end up going first, we truly don't know if that is going to be a situation where he might have to come out first and wrestle all 25 minutes, or will he be blessed with getting to go in last and only have to wrestle for 10 minutes. Because if he does have to only wrestle for 10, then maybe he's still fresh enough that he can go in a tag match. Axiom will still have to carry it. That being said, though, I think there's too many advantages and too many distractions for the champion. So I'm going with a title change. I'm going No Quarter Catch Crew.
I also like No Quarter Catch Crew to get it. Because you have to think, if things fall the right way for No Quarter Catch Crew, they'll be holding a lot of things. Like Wren has the potential to win for her. Charlie Dempsey has the Heritage Cup, and then they'd be tag team champions. They have nothing to lose. And Nathan right now is not focused on what he needs to be focused on. He's not where his bread and butter is coming from. He's trying to chase the new thing. He's trying to chase some oil and add it to his. He's trying to add the oil to the plate so that they can be fancy, like like an Italian restaurant. And it's like, hey man, butter been over here this whole time, but he ain't holding down his butter. And it ain't I can't believe it's not butter. So
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
You're going title change as well.
I like a title change here.
Kia?
I like the fact that they're always there for one another, and I'm talking about the No Quarter Catch crew. I like the fact that Wren has joined, and she's been so major supportive. You need that female presence to be like, hey, I'm going to, kind of kick you in your ass. I'm going to light a fire up under you. I'm going to be pumped and excited. And so the fact that they've added her to the crew, that's great. I'm hoping, and I'm crossing my fingers, I hope she goes out and does her thing. But with all respects, I don't see nothing against Axiom. I really do like him. I just don't see those titles being retained. And he's only one person. He's only so fast. But unless you have your other half helping you, and y'all have that chemistry, and y'all have that connection and communication, and whatever else y'all need, it's not gonna work. So No Quarter Catch crew, please take these titles. Thank you.
An opportunity to definitely see how this one ends up playing out because. Of course, for those of you who are joining us potentially for the very first time, you do have an opportunity to be able to vote as part of the OTRA universe, as our vote is currently up on our YouTube community page. So just look us up on YouTube and go in and you can place your votes. Right now, as of this recording, it's 85% Frazer and Axiom going with the OTRAs right now, with that vote pretty strongly in their favor. Still enough time in there where it could flip, but unlikely. So either we're going to be the experts on this one, or they're going to make us all look silly. It is what it is. But either way, exactly. So we'll see how that all pans out. Let me move that back over and restart our clock here. But that moves us into our second match. Let's head into the underground, as we now enter our famous black and white photos here, as NXT Underground veteran Lola Vice, former MMA fighter turned WWE NXT superstar, will meet her next challenge inside the not squared circle, I suppose, as she will battle against longtime rival Jaida Parker. Now, Miss Parker and Lola can't seem to get out of each other's way, as they have repeatedly cost each other matches. There have been bricks involved, where they've been hitting each other upside the head with bricks and everything else. Jaida ultimately getting the laugh in their last match, knocking Lola out with a brick, but you saw that brick has come back in and has ultimately come back into play here. But now you go into Lola's neck of the woods. You go into the area where she is going to be at her best. She is going to be at her highest level of potential, because inside boxing, MMA type of style fighting is where Lola is at her best. So, as confident as Jaida Parker is this a situation where maybe she's bit off just a little more than she can handle, and she might have to learn this lesson the hard way against someone who's been doing this for a very long time?
Wow. So we saw what Lola did to Shayna, and Shayna is one of the baddest outside of Ronda, and she took Shayna literally to the cleaners, beating her down. And not just beating her down, she was smart about it. She was very strategic, and it was very well thought through. So
that I will say, because we did see that one in person at Battleground, and, there was a little shenanigans between some folks on the outside, but it does give off the vibe that it wasn't just, I'm just going to go in there and throw haymakers with Shayna Baszler. That wouldn't be very smart. Lola came in with a plan and got just enough of a distraction to take out, the Queen of Spades. So you wonder if a similar mindset, but does it play to Jada's favor, maybe, that she's never done this before, so she can go in with maybe a fresh perspective?
Maybe. I mean, this is more like towards like a street fight, right?
Knockout or referee stoppage is the only way to end the match. So otherwise, anything goes.
I feel like Jaida, from a technical standpoint, like, being in the underground, from a technical, I've never actually MMA fought. Like, from that perspective, yes, she would be the underdog going in. But also, if you can fight, you can fight. Like, I feel like she'd be throwing words and she'd be throwing hands.
She's very good at doing both.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a run up or shut up type thing,
We saw how she did Roxy. So, I mean, if she could do Roxy like that, sitting in a chair with just whap and get her on the ground.
That's one thing you can definitely say about Miss Parker, is the fact that she is absolutely not going to back away from anybody. She doesn't care, even if she knows she's going to get her tail handed to her.
Baby.
Like, I am not looking for help. She is looking
for them. Okay.
You know, that's the one thing you can say, though, is Miss Parker's not backing down from anybody. And even if she knows she's going to get her tail whipped, you know, she is going to dish out a couple of swings of her own along the way, you know, and she's been saying it since she got here, you know. It's Jaida time, you know, but, you know, this is going to be the toughest test she's faced because not just about the competition, but also about it steps her into an environment that Lola knows forward, backwards, and sideways. And over the last year, Lola has gone from, you know, breakout contract holder that we're like, what on earth is this girl going to do with this? And why on earth is she trying to use it here? To now arguably one of, if not the faces of the women's division at this stage. So now you look at a match like this, and you really do feel like the winner becomes the front runner to become the number one contender following the Iron Survivor winner.
I can see that.
Well, both have gotten shots at Roxanne over the last year. In fact, we saw both of them live. And unfortunately, both have come up short. And now
it's funny that Roxanne got knocked out by Jay. It's funny to me.
She said she was going to slap the taste out of her mouth.
And she sure did. She sure
did.
She sure did, and she did not
I'd like
hesitate.
to see.
And before she could even finish the sentence, she was on the ground.
Really, she was.
So, you know, that brought an end to that. Moving to picks. Alyssa, you're up first.
This is a head and heart pick.
There's always one.
There's always one. Like, my head is telling me go with Lola. She knows this. This is what she does. Like, before she got here, she's already told us her motivation. She's doing it for her family, like, everything. But then you have Jaida, and she got my heart, you know, because it's like, okay, she's stepping in, you know, she doesn't know, like, the technical way, but if a fight is a fight, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. And it's like, okay, who do I want to go with?
You see how she bought herself extra time?
Yeah, sure did. You best believe it. Honestly, I'm going to go with my head here. Because you've seen Lola kind of building to get that next push. And I think this will be her next step up. To get back to transitioning the next people into the main roster. And then her kind of taking the reins. So,
Lola.
I like Lola. I still want to see her get knocked out, though. So if she loses, I will not be
a double knockout.
It's nothing against Lola. I just really like Jaida. I do. Anyway, that's not the point. I'm gonna pick Lola.
Okay. Kia?
If Shayna taught her anything, and she clearly did, because she got one up on Shayna, then she's gonna go in, and she's my pick. Because if she already knows what to do, how to react, how not to react, and she's gonna be strategic. Then nothing against Jaida, because I do like Jaida. She has grown on me. It's just my head's going with the person that already knows this thing inside and out. It's Lola. All day.
Well, anybody who has ever watched wrestling and has watched, especially in WWE, always knows that there is nothing like a good trilogy. And Jaida got the first laugh. Jaida got the first salvo in this particular instance. And everybody who has been reading the previews on this, see how I went to Tony D'Angelo there for a second?
Yes.
Says that, oh, well, you can't take away street smarts. That's something you can't teach. That's either you know it or you don't, which is you would think would favor Jaida. Lola's got that too. Lola has that Cubano, Latina background of having to be the small fighter, living in the big city and living amongst the big dogs and the big fighters, and yet has had to prove her worth despite her smaller size and also despite the fact that she was viewed as originally just what, quote, an ass shaking on Instagram. And she has more than proven that. So as much as I want to go with Jaida on this, because I agree with Alyssa, the same mindset of head and heart, I just can't bring myself to do it not in the underground. Lola knows how to win here. She knows how to be at her best here. So I've got to go with Lola Vice as well. Sorry, Miss Parker. Maybe next time.
We'll get you next time. What you got right now?
I hope so. She's going to slap the taste out of my mouth. And I hope she does. Anyway, moving on. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where they're going to put the Iron Survivor matches in comparison to the NXT Championship match. because there are a lot of people, of course, believing, that the NXT Championship match should main event, or it should be potentially the Women's Iron Survivor match because of the big names that have come in. We ultimately just take our best guess at it. We're going to go ahead and do the Iron Survivor matches first, and we're going to say that Trick and Ridge are going to ultimately end up going last. But we are going to start with the one that we do feel would be the likely starter of the two Iron Survivors, and that is the Men's Iron Survivor match. Now, anyone who's unfamiliar with the rules in this particular one, they go as follows. Essentially, you start with 2 people in the ring with a 25-minute countdown clock that is running from the beginning. As soon as a person gets pinned or submitted in a match, then that person who gets the pin, submission, disqualification, whatever, nets a point. But the person who got pinned or submitted then has to go into a penalty box and has to sit out for a minute and a half, giving them a chance to clear their head, but also less time that they're in the ring able to score pinfalls. Every 5 minutes, someone else will enter the match. So the person who comes in last, in theory, will be the freshest, but also has less time to score points. While the 2 people who start the match will be the person who have to go the longest and are going to be the most vulnerable to damage, but at the same time, also get the longest opportunity to be able to score. So there are pros and cons to both sides. It's a very beautiful concept, and essentially helps to bring in the next generation. So everybody has their own story, everybody has their own reason. A couple of former champs, a couple of people trying to make their name, one current champ, and one or 2 people that are trying to cement themselves as the next name. So simply put, I'm just going to read them out and let the 2 of you take the wheel. You've got former NXT champion Ethan Page, all ego. You've got the current NXT tag champ Nathan Frazer. We already went over him earlier and having to pull double duty. You add in former 2-time North American champion Wes Lee, who has been eyeing the NXT championship.
With a nice haircut.
And then the 2 biggest names that are coming up in this group in both Eddie Thorpe and Javon Evans. Now, that also being said, there's of course a mystery behind Eddie Thorpe because he was attacked right at the end of NXT, and we don't know his clearance status, nor do we know who's the one who did it. Everyone, of course, is going to point towards Lexis King, but that has nothing to do with this match. So we don't know Thorpe's full availability, but ladies, that's your Iron Survivor. We don't know the order, but the winner becomes number 1 contender for the NXT title.
So honestly, Wesley, let's start there. He's done a lot over the time after his partner left before coming back. He did a lot on his own where he literally had to pick himself up, carry himself through what to him was a struggle, and being a tag team person now trying to find his way as a solo competitor, and he did very well with that. So I feel like, with all respects, he's probably one of the people I probably would pull for to not only be fast, I think he's somewhat high flying. I feel like it's going to be a good match to watch, but also now you look at Javon Evans, who's been here and he's done his thing and he's been bouncy. I also like him too because he's put in the time, not like Wesley, but he's put in enough time to sit here and say he's dedicated to what he does, he likes what he does, and he takes it seriously, and he's always looking for a good competitive win over whoever he's fighting. It doesn't matter if it's just 1-on-1, 2-on-1, he's always looking for a good competitive fight. When it comes to Ethan Page, oh my God, I do not have no like this man,
Ego.
but you know, he has held the title, and you know, you got to give him credit for retaining the title. Well, he don't have it now because it's not his. I feel like he's going to do something underhanded to try to win. I don't care if he's a good guy, bad guy, whatever. I feel like he's going to be who he's going to be. And I feel like he could be a potential person that could win. And it's that now. And Eddie Thorpe, I just want to know who attacked him and if he's going to be able to go. And if not, who's going to replace him at the last minute. Because, you know, people don't come forward when they, you know, attack others.
Well, just imagine if ultimately it's Lexis King that ends up getting the slot. And then, of course, everyone is going to continue to bash on him even though he's trying his face push. But also, there's been discussion about a bunch of people that, potentially might be coming back from injury or might be coming down from the main roster to try to earn their way into NXT. So it opens up the door for maybe a surprise. Unfortunately, we have no way of knowing that prior to that person coming out.
Okay, so just to give y'all a little run through of where my brain kind of is for this. We'll start with Ethan Page. Best thing this man has done was put out that music in response to
Trick Williams.
In response to Trick. That was hilarious. I'm sorry.
Going to Trick's level with a diss track. I mean,
That-
it was actually really good.
It took
really
me
was.
out. I found myself laughing way too hard at the fact that I do not like him. But I understand that's supposed to be his character. You're not supposed to like him. He's doing his thing. But, yeah, that's the best thing he's done. Like, sorry. Currently trying to fight for my life. When it comes to Eddy Thorpe, I know recently he's gone heel, or
Just he's looking for that respect factor.
Yeah.
Every time he feels like he's getting a step up, Ava's
Some always
Ava's
happen.
not listening. Ava's not giving me opportunities. Then he finally earns one on a night in which Ava coincidentally is gone, and he gets laid
I'm
out.
sorry because you just can't get what you want. Oh, I'm having to fight for my opportunities. Oh, it's me against the world. Then I'm
Fighting for your life.
And then he that ain't right for that. Y'all know y'all wrong for that. Anyway, so that's Eddy Thorpe. All right, Nathan Frazer. When it comes to him, I mean, he's been doing his big one. He's got his tag team. He's a tag team champ, but also I don't feel like his focus has been where it needs to be. He's been focusing on this, which is great. Let me stop talking mess. Okay. He's been focusing on this over here. And it's like, okay, that's good and great, but I hope I don't know. He's fast, so his speed will absolutely favor him in this match because it's all about getting your pins, getting your licks, and getting people out the way so you can get your points. So that's great. That'll favor him.
Will it if you've got Wesley in there who's just as fast as he is?
Oh, I know. Javon. Javon is fast, high flying. So I'm noticing a theme with them. A few of them are fast flying, high flying, stuff like that. He's bouncy. Sorry.
Would you like to take a drink?
No, because it's not my throat, it's my chest. And then you have Wesley. I like Wes. It's not even just because of his haircut, because he did his thing with that haircut.
He lost the dreads.
I know.
I know.
We'll see if he's aerodynamic now. It's fine. Either way. Either way.
No one's more aerodynamic than I, though. I mean, look at this.
Either way. I mean, when it comes to Wesley, this man has done what you've needed him to do. He has stepped up every step of the way. He had tag team gold. His partner, be it what it may, was gone. He had to do it on his own with the North American title. I mean, I'm just looking. This is his chance to really skyrocket himself to the next level, So, yeah.
All right, well, pick time. Kia, you're up first. Who is the men's Iron Survivor? And also, we saw last year, I mean, points can be scored fast thanks to, you saw Trick Williams pick up
Swear to
4
God, talk
points
about
in
that
like
fucking
75
set he gave me
seconds.
last
So,
year.
but it's, you see how quickly you can score if you get into a good rhythm. But either way, you're up.
I'm definitely picking Wesley. Like I said, I started with him first, so I'm picking him. I feel like he's fast, he's quick. I feel like he's going to get those pins like he needs. Now, y'all got to stay away from that penalty box. If y'all learned anything last year, please don't go into that penalty box and you're stuck. And then you have to do what Trick did and get him at the last minute.
You still won.
I mean, but it was still last minute though.
But that's one of
So
those,
you don't wanna-
you got to hit it at the right moment kind of things.
Right. And so my pick is Wesley.
This is one because of the fact that there's so many people involved in this match. You don't know what to do, and of course it's really hard to take a person like Eddy Thorpe because you don't even know if he's going to be able to make it, and obviously you can't just take his replacement because we don't know who it would be. I can't in good conscience or heart take Nathan Frazer because I do feel like, him pulling double duty is going to cause just enough of a distraction to where it's not going to work out. to me, I feel like this comes down to either Wesley or Javon Evans, being there. That's why I'm going to be the person who's going to go completely off the rails, and I'm going to take Ethan Page. And the reason for that is because he is the only person in this match who knows what it takes to win when the spotlight is on the brightest. He knows how to win the championship. He knows how to retain the championship. And also, he seems like the kind of guy that is going to come into this with a strategy in mind. Whether that's going to be, hey, get somebody into the penalty box and then lock them in there so that way they can't get out as quickly, because we all know Lee, Evans, Frazer, can all find a way to be able to crawl their way out of that cage if they have to. But then also at the same time, Paige also seems like the kind of person who might go and, hit somebody with a chair on purpose, take the 1.5-minute penalty, but take a person completely out of the match as a result. So it does give off every vibe that he's going to show up with a plan and a determination behind it. So I'm going to take Paige.
Okay, I'm not taking Paige. I'm tired of seeing him in the title picture. Yeah, so we're not going with Ethan Page. We are going to go with Wesley. Because Wesley, again, has done everything you have asked him to do. This is setting up for your next champion. Because no matter who you are or what you pick, both of the people who are in the NXT main title card picture are ready to go main roster. Ridge Holland, we don't know how long he's down here. If he's staying down here, he could win the title, whatever. He's moving back up. Trick Wilson, here we go. Trick Williams, also over here, ready to go main roster whenever he's ready to go. You're looking for your next face. You're looking for your next face of NXT. You can look at all these people till Kingdom Come. You can't tell me that Wesley would not be a great NXT champion. So I'm going to go with Wesley.
Sounds like a working group to me. I believe Javon Evans, I think, was the front runner on the vote, but that one obviously was very close because there are so many different people to pick. We didn't mention anything, by the way, about Underground. Lola Vice is ahead in that one, so
Makes sense.
I just think the experience there plays a role. But again, still time to vote. Again, YouTube community page. We're also on all of our different types of social medias over here. You can see us to the right. I need to actually update that one because we are no longer on X. We switched over to Blue Sky, or Sky Blue, or whatever it's called. So we're on there. We're on TikTok. We also do cameos, YouTube, and of course Instagram and Facebook with the Mania Club as well. With that, let's move to the other Iron Survivor match, and this is the one on the women's side. And this is one that honestly had me a little frustrated. I'll get to that more here in a second, but just similar to the men's match, it is a 5-minute or 25-minute match with the same countdown rules, same penalty box, same everything, with the person who scores the most pins or submissions earning an NXT Women's Championship match against Roxanne Perez at New Year's Evil. The 5 competitors that earn their way in are Sol Ruca, Giulia, Stephanie Vaquer, Zaria, and No Quarter Catch Crew's Wren Sinclair. Now, I sit here and I say I'm frustrated behind this match, not because of who ultimately is in the match, but because of the small length of time that at least 3 of these competitors have been here, that being Giulia, Vaquer, and Zaria, who all debuted within about a month and a half of each other. But then you look at the people that they beat, that being Lola Vice, Jaida Parker, and Kalani Jordan, who have been basically carrying the women's division for the last couple of months. And now you're all of a sudden going to part the ways because you need the new big 3, the new 3 horsewomen, whatever you want to call them, to step in here. Now, of course, at least 2 of them have to lose because Iron Survivor just happens to work that way. So it's slightly irritating in terms of, how they got there, but you also can't question the fact that they're going to use their full star power. And if they truly are as good as their rankings claim they are, all 3 ranked inside the top 11 in the world based on the Pro Wrestling Illustrated's 250 women this year, then they get their right here. Sol Ruca, of course, everyone's been waiting on her to make her big push and her big run. She had a fantastic match trying to win the North American Championship on 2 different occasions. And Wren Sinclair just in her match, getting the opportunity to get in on last chance yesterday, and she literally fell into the pin to earn the title match. So you wonder if luck might be favoring that lady this evening. But either way, winner moves on to the to New Year's Evil to challenge for the NXT Women's Title.
I feel like it's very interesting that you made that whole spill because Alyssa was having the same conversation with me in the car on the way home about the 3 new people that just showed up, took out the 3 people that has been here previously, and now they're getting to be in the match. Was I just hearing things when you said that?
Oh no, I've been saying that since they got here.
I mean, she did.
I have been not saying I'm against new people coming to NXT. Let me make that very clear. I don't have a problem with new people coming to NXT. I do have a problem though when people, just because they've earned, when their arrival overshadows all the work that people who have been here gets overshadowed because somebody big name wanted to take a pay cut and come here. That's great. Call it what you want. I don't, call it what you want. I don't care. I have a problem with that because it's like, I've been over here doing your work for you, getting these ratings up over here so that they could come over here, so they were interested in coming over here, so that this little dot was on the map. That's because of me and the women in this division, and then y'all want to come in, and now, hey, I'm here. I'm in the Iron Survivor match. No, I don't like that.
Now, I will say at the end, though, I mean, all 5 women who got into it, same as the men, all had to win qualifying matches in order to get in. So it's not like, they were just gifted their way into this match. They still had to win matches in order to get in. And when you look at the people they beat, that being Lola, Vice, Jaida, Parker, Kalani, Jordan, all 3 of them had just as equal an opportunity to be able to get themselves in against these big 3, and all of them failed to get the job done. The only person I feel for, though, is Kalani Jordan, and that's because the fact that Jaida and Lola ultimately still got onto the card, thanks to them going back and forth with each other. We've spoken off camera about how Kalani has more than gotten her flowers this year thanks to her great Women's North American title run. So it's not like her, skipping one is going to be that major of a deal to, her future and her, her future endeavors inside of NXT. But going through the gripes of everything else, let's focus now into the women that are in the match, because ultimately the big 3 plus Wren and Sol did work their way in, each taking their own separate path to get here, and so many different mindsets and lifestyles now entering into a single picture with such a unique match as well.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, you've seen Wren. She's been here. She's been working. She's been doing her thing. She actually worked her way into the no quarter catch crew, and she's been doing her thing over there.
Boy.
and you're looking at, and I'm loving it for our women that have been here. Like Jaida Parker, she gonna handle her own. We don't even got to worry about her. Lola, we don't got to worry about her. I'm sad to see that they're not in this match. Kalani, she did her thing to get her title. When it comes to the newbies, I don't know much about them and where they're from. I know they've got an air of mystery. I know that they're some of the big 3 on a list. But at the end of the day, who's really been here, who's been doing the work? Ruca, and y'all know I don't like that girl, but she's been here, and
don't make me laugh.
She's been doing her.
Make me laugh.
I'm sorry. She's been doing her thing. Right. Say what you may, she might got a bump knee or a bumped up knee or a jacked up knee. I do too, so it's okay.
I have 2 of them.
But baby's been doing her thing, and she deserves her flowers. Now on the flip side, Wren has been doing her thing too, and she deserves her flowers. The other 3, that's good, that's great. Just know you got to show me, you got to prove to me that I can get behind you. You got to prove that who you knocked out of this competition, you are way better than them. So it's going to be what it's going to be. See this, feel how you want to feel, hear what you want to hear, do what you want to do. Until you can show me, there's no way I'm pulling for either of the 3 of you. So good luck, Sol, and good luck to Wren. Those are my 2 picks. I'm not,
Well, you will have to eventually pick one here in just a moment. Luckily, you go last.
Okay, cool.
I go first because it circled back around to me. To me, Julia and Vaquer have both already had shots at Roxanne and both came up short. So it's not that they won't get future opportunities. Honestly, I think every single person that is in this match eventually is going to hold the NXT Women's Championship or the North American Women's Championship in some form or fashion. I don't see anybody of these 5 coming over here and not holding gold at some stage. But you do have to look at the perspective of who is the person that is best lined up to be the next big name if ultimately you are ready for Roxanne to make the move up to the main roster, which everyone I think believed was going to be what was going to happen last year, and instead you've given her a nearly year-long title run to give Lyra that push up to it. So now who is going to be the one that would become the Roxanne to Lyra? Who does that for Roxanne? And ultimately, if I had to hand pick, the person I would have picked is not even in this match. That would have been Cora Jade, because I think Jade would have been the perfect foil to be able to push Roxanne while also making Cora either the top face or an even bigger heel than Roxanne. But that being the case, I think if you're going to go with a hardcore Roxanne Perez heel, you need a powerful face. That's why I'm going to take Sol Ruca, because I do feel that it is ultimately going to not fall on the big 3, and I have to believe that the people who have worked hard to get to this point deserve that best chance, and I do feel like in a match of this caliber, with so much focus being on Giulia, Vaquer, and Zaria, I do think it's going to be Sol that's going to be able to find just enough within her. She's got the speed, the power, as well as just the wherewithal with that surfer background to be able to handle a situation, and will have the stamina to be able to make it to the end. So I'm going to go Sol.
I was about to say, I agree with Steven on that one. I like Wren. Wren has been, I don't want to say annoying, but she's not taking no for an answer when it comes to joining the no quarter catch crew and all that. But I still feel like she has more to learn. I saw she got the lick. She got her little lick at the end of NXT with Roxanne. She put her on the ground, everything. So that was great for her. And also, the big 3 haven't established anything here. I know they've established themselves in the world, and that's great. In the wrestling world, on different brands, and that is wonderful. But you haven't established anything here yet. Not saying you won't, because they definitely will, because why would you bring them here if they're not going to do anything, But Sol has come in, got hurt, came back. She's also very good in multi-person matches. That girl has the ability to go in and play when she needs to play. She's smart to get to the side when she needs to get to the side. And I think ultimately all her sitting there letting, not winning the North American women's title, learning from those things in that match, and then ultimately making it into the bigger title picture, is her getting her flowers for doing what she's needed to do, for pushing the people she's needed to push, and learning the lessons that she needed to learn. So I think she's ready. So I'm going to go with Sol Ruca as well.
Soul snatchers for all. Can you imagine that coming off the timeout box?
I'm telling you, she's going to be over here going crazy. Anyway.
Kia?
So I'm going to pick differently than you. I know that I've been talking about Wren and I've been talking about Sol, because the other 3 they've got to prove to me what they can do here in WWE or whatever. I'm going to take Wren. Something just tells me she's been with the no quarter catch crew for a little minute. I feel like Dempsey has had to tell her something, teach her something. He seems like he's been around, a minute too. So he's had to give her some form of, hey, do this, or hey, do that, or some form of instructions, training her, teaching her, making sure her mind is right, making sure everything she's got going forward. I feel like he's been a great assistance. Yeah, now he seems like he's been a butt to her, but
have you ever met his father?
Yes. No, I haven't, but I've seen his father.
His father's kind of a ass himself, so.
Yeah, but if that's the case and he's been a butt and she's taken that and she hasn't said no, because look, she found her way into the no quarter catch crew. So if she could take everything that she learned getting to that point and use it for this match, I feel like she'll be fine. So I'm taking Wren.
So interesting that, across the board, no one's going with any of the big 3 members. Now, the OTRAs right now, as of the time of this recording, this is definitely the closest of all the different votings that we have. But right now, they are actually leaning towards Stephanie Vaquer as the person that is going to ultimately get this match. But, again, still time to vote, still time to throw your name in there. It doesn't go live until the bell rings. To me, though, I think, hands down, I think that's going to be your match of the night. I look at the others, great matches across the board. And also, it gives you a vibe of just how strong the women's division is, because we sat here and harped for 2 or 3 minutes about the people who aren't in this match because of the people who are. This tells you how strong the women's division is, that we're sitting here talking about people who might be ranked 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th in NXT, that we're mad because they're not in the title picture. So it just tells you, again, this is where the women's division is at its best, and I've gone public many times. NXT's women's division is the best locker room, men's or women's, in the world of any wrestling promotion, and I challenge someone to tell me otherwise. I mean, it really, go, come on, bring it. Because I'll talk all day about the women of that group, because it is the best we've got. Hey, I got time.
Well, we don't.
Either way, let's move to the main event, so that way the ladies can move on with their evening. But it is for the NXT Championship. Of course, the winner of Men's Iron Survivor will be ultimately challenging the winner of this match for the championship at New Year's Evil. So not a lot of rest time and not a lot of back and forth available, as the incumbent champion, Trick Williams, or Trick Willy
Wilson.
Wonka, whatever you want to call it. We'll
I said Wilson, man. I said Wilson.
Trick Wilson. Yeah, there you go.
Lord.
Williams. Ultimately will put his championship on the line against former Chase U member, now Chase U destroyer, Ridge Holland. Now, Ridge Holland, of course, broke the hearts of everybody within the NXT universe by not only costing Andre Chase 2 separate matches, but ultimately ending Chase U completely, R.I.P. Chase U, by defeating Andre in a match where he put the school on the line in order for him to ultimately get one shot at the NXT Championship. And despite the fact that you look at Duke Hudson, you look at Thea Hale, all the members of Chase U, they tried so hard to try to push Andre to victory, but Ridge Holland, one by one, took out every one of them and ultimately took out the entire university to get this championship match. He also, of course, successfully hit his Impaler DDT on the table on Trick Williams, forcing him to go to the hospital yesterday. And even though Trick is injured, he is, in theory, has already told Ava, this match is happening, I don't care what condition I'm in. We've seen Trick go to war with people like Braun Breaker. We've seen him go to war with people like Carmelo Hayes. Ilya Dragunov. We know he can face the toughest of the tough. But Ridge seems to be on some kind of mean streak that I haven't seen him on, or haven't seen anybody in NXT on in the men's division in a while. So, you're going back to Tommaso Ciampa 2016, 2017, the last time we saw somebody go this nasty.
I don't think so. I don't even think Ridge is that. I think he's nasty, but not like Ciampa. Sorry.
But, we're seeing a new side of Ridge Holland, and I think the appetite of destroying people is what is fueling him right now. And now he's on his way. He talked about destroying Chase U was his biggest win yet. Well, he may be just a couple of days away from the biggest win of his career in taking out Trick Williams and winning the NXT title.
That's what I say. Ridge has come down to NXT and transformed his career. Like, when
he might have saved it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when he was on the main roster, he was with Sheamus and Butch, and they were doing.
Don't call him that.
He was Butch at the time.
Sorry.
Shut up, because I didn't say that. But anyway. But no, he was up there. He was doing, okay. But then you kind of saw him trail off.
Well, recently with the New Day breakup, since it came up, of course, he is infamously known as the person who was the one that injured Big E. Again,
yeah.
Pure accident, hit the move like it was supposed to be hit. It was just terrible circumstances that it happened. But he's had to live with the guilt of that. He has had to live with the fact that he was the person that took one of the most beloved people in the WWE and possibly has now ended his career. We don't know whether he's going to be able to make it back or not, and it's been almost 4 years. So that's something he's had to live with, and you're right in the fact that he has transformed himself back in NXT.
Yeah. But, like, now he's over here. He's ending factions. This man is putting people in ambulances. Go on, put that down. They're gone now, Bookie. Sorry. They're gone now. Sorry, Bookie. I'm sorry. He put it on the line, man. Hey, Andre knew not to put that junk on the line. He put Thea on the line. He almost lost Chase U. He knew better. He knew better. We're going to stop arguing about that, though.
Damn.
Crazy.
That's sad.
Crazy.
Oh, well.
But Rich has come down here and he has transformed himself. He has come in. He has found whatever. He's won his first gold. Like, he has found a way to make himself better.
And a threat.
And he is operating on a level that I haven't seen him on since I started watching. And good for him for it, you know? He changed his theme music, you know, that's a whole new beast now. You know, when they change music, y'all, I done learned when people change their theme, they on a new level. Don't play with them.
Shinsuke Nakamura last week.
New level.
Plate exchange
New
coming soon.
Ah! New champ.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Chase U. Let me pour one out for you. But with all respect...
Of course, we buy all the damn T-shirts, and then all of a sudden they decide to end the school.
Right.
Damn it.
It's okay. With all respect, Alyssa's right. Ridge, you pull him from the main roster, and he comes down to NXT. He does his thing. He's on a roll. And I like how he was motivated to be nice to get what he wanted, and then he got hurt. Because for the longest time, nobody in Chase U wanted him or trusted him, so I feel like that's kind of like playing in the back of his mind for why he did what he did. But now he's moved on to bigger and better. Now that he's destroyed Chase U, now that he's left, you know, Sheamus and Butch, or Pete Dunne, I'm sorry, and he's come down here. He's turned into that kid, that bully with the magnifying glass, you know what I mean? The one that likes to, like, burn ants or whatever. That's what he's turned into. He's got this little evil but mean streak, and he's willing to use it against anyone and everyone. Which, also on the flip side, why would you put the title back on Trick, or why would you have him win it back for him to lose it again unless you feel like he's ready for the main roster?
Well, if there's one person who's been able to defy the odds over and over and over in NXT, it has been Trick Williams. You know, Trick Williams went from a mouthpiece to champion level status in a period of about 6 months. And I honestly didn't think that they would actually pull the trigger on Trick Williams being champion, and now he is one of the most liked champions that NXT has ever had. You know, you can go back to Big E, you can go back to Seth Rollins, you can go back to Adam Cole, you know, people like that, you know, amongst many other names you can mention. But the reality is Trick Williams is well loved by the NXT universe, but he's going up against just as much of a foil in a person who is universally hated by NXT in Ridge Holland. And the one thing he's found strength in is he spent so many years of his life trying to get people to like him and forgive him for what happened with Big E a bunch of years ago. Now he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
He don't.
And that has fueled him. If anything, the more you hate him, the more powerful he becomes.
He does.
So it is a scary Ridge Holland, especially since he proved that he can take out Trick very easily, you know, if he wants to. And all of Chase U combined was not good enough to be able to take out Ridge. So can Trick by himself do it? Also, does Andre and the rest of Chase U members who now have literally nothing else to lose, do they possibly play a role in the background of this match? So we do move to our picks here. Alyssa, you're up first. NXT champion heading into 2025.
Ooh, this one's hard. Because it's like I want to pull for Trick. I want to. I really do. But I think he's ready.
You think Ridge is ready for championship, or do you think Trick's ready for main roster? Both. So does that mean you're going Ridge?
Nah, I'm going Trick. I'm sorry.
Just wanted to
I had to think about it. I did.
Pull
I was
the
like,
wool for a second. I like it. She tried.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Trick.
Trick Williams. All right, Kia.
I think he's already had his win over Chase U and destroying that whole university, and now they have nothing left. I don't I mean, not saying I don't think he should get another win. I just feel like you've hurt Trick, you've injured Trick, but we've also seen Trick injured and hurt by his best friend too, and he won the title.
He came back.
So he came back like a beast. He trained, he worked out, he did what he had to do. So this one little bump or bruise or spill ain't gonna stop this man. He needs to whoop that Trick, and that's all I'm gonna say. Whoop him.
And that's all
Whoop
it's
'em
gonna.
good.
And that's all it's gonna be.
Exactly.
The thing about it is that, and I think we're going to ultimately get our answer based on who wins Iron Survivor. Because, of course, whoever wins Iron Survivor, you've got to think they're going to go to the flip side of the coin. So, if a face wins it, you're probably going with Ridge. If a heel wins it, you're going with Trick. The only exception to that, I argue, could possibly be Wes Lee, because I could see Wes absolutely foiling with either one of them right now. But I just don't see that if they're going to put the title on Ridge, I just don't see this as being a position where it's going to be a transition champion. However, if you're wanting New Year's Evil to be at its top and at its peak, remembering that if Trick was to lose this match, he doesn't instantly get to be the number one contender again, because the winner of Iron Survivor becomes the number one contender. So it would be a little bit before Trick can get his lick back, or Ridge can get another shot at it if whichever one comes up short. As much as I want to sit here and I want to believe that Chase U might play a role and that Andre and all of them are going to play spoiler to all of this, I just don't see that being the way that this is going to end up spinning itself out. I'm actually going to go with the title change. I'm going to go Ridge Holland to beat Trick Williams, primarily just because of the fact that I do think they're going to set up Trick to try to have one last run to try to win the gold back, try to win the championship back over, the period of time, heading into potentially a storyline where maybe he does very similar to what they did with Tiffany Stratton, where he goes up to main roster around the time of Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber, possibly setting up a story with Carmelo again for WrestleMania. I mean, you can't tell me yelling "whoop that Trick" in the middle of Vegas, isn't going to be just something spectacular.
All right, so when he pulls off his white lemon pepper steppers and puts on those boots and he takes out Ridge Holland, then we gonna need a diss track for Ridge Holland to see him into an ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Or I want to see Ridge do a diss track. That's what I want to see.
Absolutely hilarious.
Make it Sean, make it happen, please. Ava, Sean, whoever's listening, make it happen.
Hell, Ethan, go help
Ethan,
him.
go help him out.
Hilarious.
But that does bring it into Deadline. The one thing we really didn't talk about is the return of WWE and NXT by, proxy here, returning to the Minneapolis Armory. This is one of the classic locations of all of professional wrestling history. You go back to events like Saturday Night's Main Event coming up next week, so we'll get an opportunity to talk about that. But the Armory is one of the most historic places that you've got in all of professional wrestling lore, especially with World Wrestling Entertainment. So it'll definitely be fun to see an event back in such a location that we didn't think. I mean, they had a chance to go to Philadelphia and go in the old ECW arena, and now you see them returning back to the Armory. So kind of going back to the things of the past. But either way, ladies, Deadline Saturday. We're looking forward to it. But any parting words before you head off to go eat?
Yeah, well, damn, you took them straight out of my mouth. Let's go eat. I'm hungry. And I want to see Alyssa do toss.
Uh-oh.
I mean, she got her hair straight and she got her eyebrows done. I mean, you might as well.
Toss. See, it's a vigorous experience to watch her do it because obviously I can't.
No, y'all can't see me do the toss because last time y'all got free footage of my feet. No, y'all had enough. See you on the next one. Bye!